Hi, it's John Hawthorne here, and I'm at the sports show here at the Oaks. It is day one. The show's just been open for a couple of hours. And this monstrosity box that I have next to me is my main tackle box I keep for all my tackle. And the reason I brought it out here today is I wanted to give you just a couple of tips as what you might want to do before you come out to the show for the first time. It's easy to just come to the show and just start walking around, say, yeah, let me buy that, let me see this, I need that. But what I always try to do is I try to go through my tackle before I come out to the show. So I wanted to get to this on day one here. So when you break out your tackle box, you want to take a look at a whole bunch of things. And it's not just a matter of what lures you have and what lures you don't have. But certainly that's a good place to start. I'm going to go through all of my terminal tackle. I'm going to look at things like hooks. I'm going to look at things like swivels and beads and take a look and see what types of condition I have. I've got some tube jigs here that unfortunately have sat in my box for a while, and they are definitely showing some signs of rust. And although I might be able to sharpen some of these up, a lot of them are not going to be able to be saved, and therefore I'm going to have to be ready to replace them. There's lots of other things as far as terminal tackle goes. A lot of times your crankbaits will deteriorate. You're going to want to take a look at all of your baits. You want to take a look at your split rings. You want to take a look at your treble hooks. Are any of your treble hooks beginning to rust through? Look at the eyes. Take a look to see whether or not any of that is beginning to deteriorate. Anything that could have a sharp edge to it or anything that could catch a line could cost you a fish. You want your lures working in absolute tip-top shape. One of the great things about coming to the show here is with all the vendors, you're able to buy things in bulk. And I've got piles of soft plastics here in front of me. So I want to go through all of my soft plastics, some of which I can keep here in the box, but some of which I can't. And I got to start thinking about what fishing trips am I going to be taking this year? Where am I going? Okay, am I going out to Lake Arthur again, where Bob and I did a show? Am I going to Canada? Am I going to be, fishing, taking a vacation and going somewhere where I've never been before? What types of baits do I need? So I always want to make sure that I am buying things that I need for fishing at home, but I'm buying things that I'm going to need later on because you might not be able to get them. I want to make sure I've got all kinds of soft plastics. This is one of my favorite. This is a bubblegum zoom floating worm. I've caught fish with this in Canada. I've caught fish back home in Nakamix. I've caught fish in the pond across the street from my house. I'm going to be fishing the river a lot with Bob. And my number one river bait is a tube, a 3-inch tube in green pumpkin. So I want to make sure I've got literally hundreds of these. Because although last year wasn't a real good year for fishing the river, we had so much rain, we didn't get a lot of fishing on. I'm hoping that I'm going to go through 100 plus tube baits this year. So I want to make sure I got plenty of them. I want to make sure I have got several hundred Senkos for the year. Everywhere I go, I am using these almost to start the season all the way through the end. And although they last for a little while, you do go through them. So I don't want to buy a pack of 10 or a pack of 20. I'm going to see if I can find a place here that sells them bulk and gives them to me for a really, really good price. That's important. I got Zoom Super Flukes. That bag's actually starting to run a little bit low. I'm probably going to need to go and pick some of them up. Let's see here. What else I got? Lizards. Lizards for my drop shot rigs. I love to fish a drop shot rig up in Canada, and I really do well with lizards, so I got to make sure I have plenty of that. I want to take a look all through my box, make sure, hopefully, there hasn't been any water in the box. Make sure that I have all the baits that I normally like. If you've watched me on any of the shows, you're going to know I like these suspending jerk baits, and I like them in Fire Tiger. And so I really try to make sure that I have got a good selection of them. I want to look at all of the hooks and make sure that none of the hooks are too rusty. So make sure that I'm thinking about the places where I'm going to go. I'm going to be in Canada, where I know there's going to be some more natural type clearer water, and I want to have some natural color. So I want to inspect all the ones that I have here and take a look and make sure that I've got all the colors that I want. Of course, I'm going to need to organize them a bit more so they're not sticking together with the hooks. But these are the kinds of things that you want to be making sure of. You throw a lot of spinner baits, and of course, Mr. Murray throws a lot of spinner baits as well. And this is a great time to take a look. Probably the weakest part of a spinner bait is either the trailer. As you can see, this one's looking pretty tattered and pretty dirty. or the skirts. If you buy real high quality skirts, they tend to last for many, many years. But if you buy some cheaper spinnerbaits that don't have high quality skirts, you end up with skirts that look like this. Either you have no skirt left, or you have one that's really, really tattered. So try to take account of what types of skirts you need, what size you need, what colors you like to fish. Most of you know I fish a lot of buzz baits, so I'm always collecting a variety of buzz baits, and I tend to try to collect skirts that will go with them. And so, I mean, this buzz bait is several years old, and I've had to replace the skirt on it many, many times. But I don't need to go and buy a new buzz bait. I just need to make sure I have the right skirt. Now, for a little skirt like this, it can be tough to buy a little one, but I try to make sure I've got plenty of the big skirts. And then I'll just take a big skirt and cut it down so that it fits on a little bait like this. But a lot of these specialty items you're not going to find at your local store. You may not find at Walmart. You may not find at Dick's. But coming out here to the show is the perfect opportunity. There are hundreds of vendors out there that have a tremendous variety of products and will have everything you need. So take a few minutes, maybe 5 or 10 minutes, go through your tackle, figure out what you need before you come down here to the show. Write yourself a list and get on down here and choose out what you need. From the Oak Show at crap. From the show here at the Oaks, I'm John Hawthorne.